Hey everybody, we are back for this month's OpenSauce Shoutouts live stream. As always, I'm hanging out with my coworker, Bekah. Bekah, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing okay. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Surprisingly very energetic. I didn't drink a lot of coffee this week yet. Like I started drinking like Monday, I was drinking green tea throughout the day. I don't know why I started drinking it. I mean, I like green tea, but I had like my first coffee at like 3 p.m. on Monday and I still felt fine and stuff. And uh, having said that, this is my second coffee now for today, but yeah, I'm trying to not drink as much coffee. And I don't know, I find the green tea kind of gives me like an even flow of caffeine because like I'm not like super wired or anything, but I'm also not like sluggish. But also sleeping, so that helps too. But what about
I
yourself?
have
How you doing?
lately decided to up my caffeine intake, so I'm
Okay.
making up for you. I'm up to
All
three
right.
three
Well,
cups of coffee before noon. So
okay. Challenge accepted. I'll go buy a 2-4 of Red Bull. I'll be back.
I started doing energy drinks for a while. I never ever had an energy drink, I think, in my life until last month. And then I was drinking
Okay.
a lot of them, and I was like, "This is probably a bad habit, and it's expensive." So I stopped that and
Yeah.
switched back to coffee.
Yeah. Energy drinks can definitely get super expensive. I ended up buying because they didn't have it in Canada initially, but like Zoa from The Rock, I got some when I was in Hawaii with Netlify, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's super expensive. And then I found they sell it at Costco now, and it's actually very reasonable the price, but I don't buy it all the time, but it is good. Um, and no, we are not sponsored by any energy drinks for this stream.
Not yet.
It's just yeah,
But if
exactly.
there's a
Red Bull,
pizza
hit us
flavored
up.
energy drink out there, we're happy to be
Yeah,
sponsored by them, and Nick will drink it on air.
yeah, I'm looking at you, tomato basil favor. I don't know. You know what? That's probably a time where you would want pineapple in your pizza. Like I would want the pineapple in my drink. So,
Yeah, yeah.
anyways, yeah,
Tyler says we should pitch them on it.
yeah, exactly. All right, it's happening. It's happening. Cool, cool, cool. Is that over on Twitter? Uh,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, I can't see where are you seeing the comments for Twitter? Just
Oh,
curious,
so
because
I'm logged in as OpenSauced right now, so I don't know
oh,
how
okay,
that
that's why
works.
probably.
This is our first time live streaming to Twitter from OpenSauced, so you all are part
Yeah.
of an experiment here.
Yeah. No, I'm just curious in general because like I was just streaming before and I stream to multi-platforms too, including Twitter. And when I go live, well, also nobody's really commenting, I guess, but I just don't see like where I can go and comment. But I'm gonna switch to the open source account and see. Are you just like in the media tab or something or
I just have it open, like, I clicked it, I saw it in the right-hand panel. Yeah, it's weird, I don't see the chat at all on Twitter. But I'm looking at
yeah.
mobile because
Oh,
I
okay, okay, that's why I'm on desktop, so, but I'm gonna switch back to myself because, I'm always paranoid that, like, I'm gonna tweet something not that I tweet anything terrible, but, like, on the actual, work account, it's like, "Hey, I'm going to the gym." People are like, "Why is open source talking about the gym?" Any anyways, um, speaking of open sauce, because that was our big preamble to just to get to the start of the stream. Um, yeah, we work at open sauce, and open sauce is open source software, and I'm gonna drop a link to it. It's a place where we're trying to surface better insights for open source projects, and I don't know if you want to touch on that a little more, Becca. I'm always trying to work on like our our kind of 15-second elevator pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, at OpenSauce, it's part of our mission to empower anybody that's working in open source or is using open source. So you could be a maintainer, a contributor, someone who is new to tech, somebody who works on a team of folks who are working across different repositories or tracking your dependencies. So the whole point is to help create a healthy ecosystem for open source and see successful projects and contributors.
Cool, cool. Well said, well said. So this is our monthly open source shout outs. So it's towards our contributors. We have a lot of amazing contributors in the project, and uh one thing we want to touch on, and like it, I think this is just true in general, but people always are focused on the green squares, and I can kind of understand to some degree, like if you're maybe new to programming or open source, you're just trying to, you want to get the that recognition. But we always talk about this internally and externally. But contributions aren't just getting those green squares. It's not just about getting like a pull request merge or some commits. It's people opening up issues, commenting on things. There's like so many things that, like, on the surface, if you look at GitHub, you just have your green tiles, like your tile selection for your shower or whatever you want to call it. People are always doing memes with like, "Hey, here's my GitHub shower," like, and anyways. Um but it really is more than just the pull requests, and we want to highlight that as well. Like we definitely appreciate pull requests as well too, but it's like everything. So just wanted to mention that.
So this is interesting. Tyler had responded in the chat about the challenges of people responding on Twitter live stream, and
Okay.
the entire chat just disappeared for me. So now it looks like
Okay.
Tyler has never posted and that I have never responded to him. So yeah,
Okay.
it's a
Okay, so
learning
I
experience.
yeah, okay. I'm not imagining things then, because and I've noticed this on LinkedIn too. With LinkedIn Live, like, because I catch Taylor Desson's streams a lot, and I comment, and then he'll like it or somebody else will. And if you go on the desktop application or the desktop site, you can't see when somebody says they liked it. You see a notification, then you click on it, and it just goes to the live stream, but not to where your comments are. And it only works on mobile, at least from what I've seen. So I think there's just in general stuff to iron out there. And I mean, the LinkedIn Live and Twitter Live are still somewhat new, so I guess understandable. But
Yeah. But we will stop talking about this now that we semi have it figured out, and we will talk about the contributions. So, yeah, shout out to Nick for starting us off with the importance of the different types of contributions. We're going to try to highlight a little bit from all of the different ways that we see people contributing to open source. And I want to say, like, especially shout out to everyone that posted about our workspaces that we launched. Was that 2 weeks ago now? Or was that
I,
last week?
I I
It all
think
blends together.
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, if that feels about right. Yeah, I'm
uh,
pretty sure it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So we had a big launch with our workspaces, which is a brand new feature. We're going to look at um, some issues and some PRs that have to do with workspaces today. So you'll learn a little bit more about it. But we really appreciate that support. It goes a long way, especially kind of gives recognition to all of the things that we've been working so hard on, especially for our engineering and product teams who did a
Yeah.
lot of great work on that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a busy few months. But yeah. Oh, hey, Kevin's back. Kevin was in my stream before. Kevin says on YouTube, shout out to Zayu and Nick for fixing bugs in workspaces within 30 minutes of me reporting them. Oh, thanks for the kind words. Yeah, no, yeah, we got those out pretty quick, and there's a couple others. I know, I think they're all in now, actually, Kevin. So, but thanks for the kind words. And Hijabi Coder says hello as well. How you doing? Good to see you. Um, yeah. So, did you want to start looking at a few of the repos? Like, there's definitely been contributions for I mainly work in the app repository, so that's the one I'm usually the most familiar with. But there's definitely contributions in all our repositories. But did we want to which one did you want to touch on first, Becca?
Let's go ahead and start with app. I feel like don't start with that one first very often. And for anybody who's joining us for the first time, we do these monthly streams to give shout outs to all of our contributors because we're super grateful for all of the feedback that they give us, the work that they put into our repositories. And we're going to start with our app repository since we're talking about workspaces anyway. And a lot of the PRs and the issues in the comments have come about our new feature workspaces.
Cool, cool. We can go to the pull request. It's a little hard to filter in here because on GitHub at least you can only see like well you see everybody. You can't say like filter out like the core team and stuff. So uh I will be honest, there is quite a few of pull requests from our core team, but there is still other stuff from other people. Um there's some I guess we can look at the merge stuff. I can already see here there's some excuse me, that are this one here. I do want to highlight Fatuma. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, Fatuma A. Um, so this just needs another review, but basically there's some accessibility fixes. So like if you go to create a new highlight, the area to like fill in the highlight, like the what you call it. I might as well just go to the actual app to show you because the bug's not fixed yet. It's just it needs one more review, but this will be going in shortly. So if we come to highlights and you come here, if I focus in this area, you notice that there is no it doesn't give you a focus state, and that's important for accessibility. So Fatuma's got that fix up. It's not in prod yet, like I said, but I'll ping somebody to get a second review on that. But I tested this all out and it's looking good. So yeah, big shout out to Fatuma. It's not their first contribution, I think, but I think it's like maybe their second. I'm pretty sure it's not their first. Actually, let me double check. Um, yeah, okay, no, yeah, it's not the first contribution, but regardless, appreciate that. And let's come back up here. Um, let's check out the merged ones, I guess. There's definitely going to be a lot of us in here, just because we've been super busy. So, uh, I don't know if we want to play some elevator music while we're going through here, but okay, there is a fix here from Arvind, actually. Okay, so this one here is so if you're on the app on mobile, like on telephone, or not, people don't say telephone. I am old. Um, but basically, if you're on smaller screens, uh, currently, like the top of the app, the navigation. So, like if we come back here and get out of here, you see how the top navigation it's sticky. um, we made that change for smaller screen experiences to unstickify it. I don't know if that's their unfix it. And that's just so we get a bit more real estate. And it's really just for smaller screens, but it is appreciated. So this gives us more space to show stuff on smaller screens. So thanks, Arvin. And I think this, I could be wrong, but I feel like this is the first contribution. Okay, no, it isn't. Okay. Looks like might have been second or third contribution. Um, and were you going to say something before, Becca? I think I might have interrupted you. Apologies if I did.
If I was going to say something, I don't know what it was, so we're all good.
Okay, okay, cool, cool. Um, I'll just go through a few of these because I'm just aware of these ones because I reviewed most of them. So this one is it's an accessibility fix. And accessibility is super important. And to be super clear, it's an ongoing thing for any application. There's lots of things in our app that I'm still aware of that need to be fixed, but these are things we're tackling bit by bit. And I try to create some issues for these two that I think first timers can tackle, or even second or third PRs for people. So this one is just to kind of give a quick explainer. So typically when you have alt alternate text on images or icons and stuff, um, it makes sense to put alternate text if you need to describe that particular image. But in a lot of cases for icons, it's just really kind of ornamental. And there are use cases in our app where we actually need to put a description, but um, the default value that we had was actually icon for the text. And this isn't really helpful. And typically when you're doing uh, alternate text to help in terms of accessibility, if all you're saying is like this is an image, there's no point to do that. It just causes noise. But you do need to put empty text. So the fix was just to set it as empty text. And so appreciate that. I think it's Renger. How do I pronounce that? Uh, yeah, Renger, I guess. I don't know their actual name, so I'm just having fun trying to guess people's handles, how you pronounce them. Um, I'll just go through a few more. We definitely can't go through all of them, obviously, Becca. And I do want to touch on the other repositories, but I'm just gonna see if there's another one in the next 2 pages of data. Oh yeah.
Definitely,
So
Takanome has, I think, submitted a
yeah,
couple.
yeah. I don't know if we'll be able to cover all the taxonomies here, but there's definitely this one. So there was a bug in Workspaces, our new feature, where and I caused this bug. Um, so like we had to change the layout for things. So like for people who haven't, and we might have time to show this after, but with Workspaces, there's a new layout where you have a sidebar and stuff, and I got it all working, and kind of before we shipped it, I did a bunch of mobile fixes, but there was a couple places where I missed where there was a footer because the Workspaces kind of layout has a footer in it, and I missed a couple places that had the footer already, so you just saw this double header, double footer, sorry.
Can
So
you show the
Takonomi,
workspaces just in case folks haven't seen it, and then we can kind of give them a visual for what we're talking about?
yeah, very good. Very good call. Okay. So here's a workspace. This is one for Remix. And so we have this sidebar. And so this is kind of, think of this as kind of like your home base for everything workspace related. And you can choose your different workspaces. So like here's one for JSR, which is new JavaScript registry from the folks at Dino, and they're collaborating with all kinds of people. And uh, basically there's a few things in workspaces, but one of the things is on your main page, the dashboard, we're surfacing repositories that you want to track, and we're giving what obviously I'm biased here because I work here, but I think we're surfacing really useful metrics. um, this stuff is in GitHub, but it's not consolidated and aggregated like this. So it's kind of like a really good health check, and the JSR and JSR related projects like Dino and Fresh is their web framework. There's a lot of activity in here, so it's super high. And um, for example, we have stars here, and this is something we've talked about before, Becca, but you know, think of a super popular project. Maybe it's got like 100,000 stars, but like it's nice to see that 100,000 stars is like a vanity metric, probably, but what's happened in the last 7 days or 30 days or last 90 days. And so what we're surfacing here is it's per time period. So this is for the last 30 days. And I got to say, this is pretty impressive. 2,000 stars in 30 days. Yeah, yes, it's definitely a few projects, but and a lot of forks, which shows there is a lot of activity there. So I think that's pretty cool. And also just the other information like pull requests and issues, open, merged, and closed. So lots of stuff that I honestly think it's super valuable as a maintainer of repositories as well. This information is useful to me. So I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to touch on about Workspace. We haven't gone through everything here, but
Yeah, well, we were looking at that issue too that was talking about the footer. So, do you want to
oh yeah.
maybe take a
Yeah. So, well, it so this issue was on another page. I think it was on some of the insight pages. So we have repository insights and contributor insights. So the repository insights are specific to um, some repositories that you do want to get insights into. And these aren't necessarily like I was showing you on the other dashboard. That dashboard could be like stuff for your organization that you want to track, but these are like things that it could be separate from that. And I believe it was here there was an additional footer, and uh Taconomy fixed that, but then also after chatting with Isa, our product designer, she said on the workspace pages we didn't need the footer. So Taconomy fixed the issue. Uh, if you saw the app maybe 2 weeks ago, you would have just seen a single footer, but now there's no footer. But we have the footer if you go to other pages, like if you go to like the Explorer or Highlights. So there's basically you saw two of these. So anyways, but yeah, appreciate that Takanome. And I think I don't know if it's this PR. Yeah, he said he's back. He's like, because he's like, I think he was busy with other things, so he was really happy to contribute to back to the project. So top tier GIF or GIF. Do I want to get spicy with you about naming today?
Definitely Jif.
Cool. All right. I'm just trying to be mindful of time here. It's already 11:25 our time, so I know there's other people that have been contributing into the app repo, but I think it'd be good to touch on some of the other repositories too. Or did you want to
Yeah.
touch on some issues in the app, or what did you want
Let's
to?
take a look at issues real quick, and then let's move over to docs.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, so already I can see here Fatuma, who we were just highlighting before. Um, Opened up an issue and about being unable to create a contributor insight. And Brandon's currently working on this, I believe, or he will be working on this soon. So appreciate that, Fatuma. Um, I think it's great when people open up issues. We want this feedback, and it's also great because it means people are using what we're building. It's not great that she couldn't create an insight, but it's gonna get fixed. So um, there's a few others in here. Well, there's I know. Oh yeah, Idrinth is suggesting a feature about celebration of releases as highlights. I think this is something good to discuss potentially. So like as a highlight, hey, we released, version X of our package or our project, and that's not something that you can do at the moment. So I think that, we'll need to discuss it obviously, but I think that could be something interesting to add to the platform.
Yeah, I love that idea, to be honest with you. I don't know, I haven't looked into the technical implementation of it, but I think it's a really great way
Yeah.
for maintainers to celebrate the things that they're working on and their team as well. So thanks for raising the issue.
Yeah, and that might require us throwing some confetti when somebody pops one of those in on the highlights. Who knows? Um, cool. Yeah. Okay. Fatuma opened up a few others. So this one here is the PR that I was mentioning about that she was working on. That this is the issue she created for it. Um, and I think these two are related. So appreciate you taking a look into that, Fatuma. Um, Fatuma's opened up quite a few actually. So appreciate the feedback. Um, I don't know if I'll find them, but I know that IU has definitely been creating all kinds of issues. It's been super valuable feedback. Um, I don't know if they're okay. Oh yeah. Okay, we're going back a little too far now. Um, that's yeah, this is in November now. So I think we kind of hit like the
We're
latest ones
good.
that people, yeah. Cool. You said you wanted to move over to the docs repo?
Yeah, let's move to docs.
Okay, docs it is. Cool. I'll let you speak to this one as you're probably more familiar than me, but
Yeah,
did
sure.
you want to?
So, one of the big things that we did in docs is um we added information about workspaces, right? Because we have a new feature, so we should have some documentation about that. And I was the one that created the PR, so I'm not giving myself a shout out. I'm
Okay,
giving the shout out to IU here. Let me try and find. Do, do, do.
okay. I'll give you a shout out while you're searching for that. Shout out to Bekah. Um,
Um, I just want to say IU does a really thorough job of reviewing PRs, and that's one of those things that we're talking about that, open source contributions are not just about submitting a PR or writing an issue. It's
yeah,
incredibly helpful to me to have somebody thoroughly go through, especially somebody that hasn't used the feature before. We've been using it kind of for a while behind a feature flag. And
yeah,
so the
yeah.
more you get used to it, the harder it is to see how somebody new might understand it or engage with it. And so IU gave a lot of feedback on, okay, so it's number 254.
Is that issue or pull request?
That's a pull request in the closed pull
Okay,
requests.
okay.
I can drop it in Slack if that's
Or I can just I'll do it the odd way. 254. Okay. Okay, so add
Oh wait, is
workspaces
that the
to
issue?
docs. Is this
Mm.
it?
Oh, that's the issue.
Uh,
Wait, I think it's 255.
okay. All right.
Yes.
255. Um, Abdul 619 is asking on YouTube, is it possible to get a job by following your instructions or instructions given at OpenSauced? I, I I'm not gonna say that you're guaranteed to get a job because that would be kind of like false advertising. I'm not sure what instructions you're referring to specifically, but I think in my experience, contributing to open source typically opens up doors. And I'm basing this on my own experience, but I know others share this too. But I do have to caution that it doesn't guarantee you're going to get a job. I don't know if you want to mention something else about that, Becca.
Yeah, the only thing I'll also say, it depends on so many factors. It is not going to hurt you to contribute to open source if you're looking for a job, as long as you're
Yeah.
following directions, you're communicating clearly and also kindly to the maintainers, and you're doing it in a way that showcases that you would be somebody that would be great for the team. We do have a job seekers guide to using OpenSauced, which I'll put in the chat right now. So if you're
Okay.
interested, feel free to check this out. And if you have questions, you can hit me up on Twitter or in Discord. You can post in there as well if you have questions. I guess we should drop a link to Discord here in a
Y-
bit.
Yeah. Uh, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
so I just want to say like shout out to IU for giving really great feedback on that PR because
Okay.
that was
Nice.
incredibly helpful. And also, I think she probably got co-author credit for that because she'll also make suggestions that I can just click, yes, exactly. This is what I want.
Okay. Yeah. 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 And I see John reviewed a bit of this as well. Okay. Cool. Okay. Let's move on, I guess. And uh, we do have our all hands in about 30 minutes, so I do want to save a bit of time at the end there. We wanted to talk about a couple things, so we can probably
I
go
thought our all
for
hands was at
another.
1.
Is it? Let me check here. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Sorry. I think the time
But we could
changes
still
messed
use
me
a
up.
break, so it's
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, yeah. There's no rush. I have stand up in 30 minutes, but aside from that, we're good. So, okay.
We did have a new I think this is a first-time contributor to Docs, which is, um, number 269, issues section, and that's by SM Hussein 5. That was about 3 weeks ago. So,
Okay.
I think this issue I think it was written by IU as well. Yeah, so another shout out to IU. The
It's
issues section in
issue
the
69.
introduction. It is the issue was 249 and the PR is 269.
Okay, so we'll go here. Okay, so Update issues section introduction. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so this
Uh,
was a good
oh
first
yeah,
issue that IU wrote. So I'm actually going to drop this in the chat as well because um we are I think that IU does a really great job of writing issues for beginners and for people who are doing their very first issue.
yeah,
So I think that it's worth looking at, especially if you're new or if you're interested in writing issues. She does a really great job of doing that. And then that enables our contributors, like this first time contributor SM Hussein 5, to go ahead and to complete the issue. So
cool.
you can see there all of the things that were updated and how that, let's see, we added a note there. Please only self assign a good first issue one time. This is something I actually just
Okay,
tweeted about. Um, a
okay,
good
okay.
first issue is never a good second issue, right? So if you've already
Yeah, yeah,
completed a good first issue in that repository, don't take a second one. It takes a long time usually to write out those issues, and we want to make sure
yeah,
that we provide that experience for everyone. So take it one time, and then if you still want to contribute, look for other issues or write your own issue. And I think,
yeah,
we mentioned this, I think every single time we do a shout out stream, Brian has a blog post called Good First Issues Don't Exist. And that's just
yeah.
an invitation to create an issue. So if you're using the product, it's a really great way to get more involved in what the open source project is working on.
I'll just go ahead and drop that in the chat. Um, I can't do it on Twitter for some reason, so I'm just popping it in YouTube. But
I will put it in
um,
Twitter. So
okay. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, and thanks again, Shahab, for your first contribution. And that reminds me, I opened up an issue on the take action that BDougie created, because I made some improvements to it. I think it was end of last year. But there's one improvement I want to do, which is to detect if somebody's already contributed to the project. I know you commented on it too. It's just I haven't had time to do it yet, but I think that would be a great addition because like right now I typically just say like, um, oh hey, this is a good first issue. If you've worked on one already, please leave this for others. So I don't mind writing that, but it I think it'd be nice to have that automated so that like in case like one of us forgets, you know. Um,
yeah,
but yeah,
actually, IU and I were just talking about that. I forgot that that issue was open because I said I was going to work on that. So, um, yes, we will work on that. Um,
cool.
Let's see. Abdul 619 in the chat says, I am new to OpenSauced, how to use it effectively. I'm just going to drop another guide in the chat on YouTube for that. That's a contributor's guide to OpenSauced. And we have a couple of guides. We have the job seekers guide, we have the maintainers guide, and we have the students guide to
Hmm.
OpenSauced. And the students guide is featured in the GitHub education pack. And that's a partnership that was just announced yesterday. So we're very excited about having that collaboration with GitHub and all of the folks who are out there learning and furthering their open source journey.
Yeah, and I did try to drop it in YouTube. I think this is the first time we're streaming, multi-streaming, and I have my Stream Deck set up, but for some reason it's not Oh, I know why it's not posting to YouTube. It's because it's my own YouTube account. I need to configure it for OpenSauce, so I'll just paste it in here. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, so definitely check that out.
One more question,
Any?
and then we'll move.
Oh yeah,
Same person asked, "Is there premium membership available in OpenSauced?" And so that's a great question because we just announced this with the launch of Workspaces that OpenSauced is now free for developers. So everybody has a free workspace, repository insights, and contributor insights. So those are things that you can all use for free now.
I think is this blog post talks about workspaces, I think. Is that
Um,
right or
yes. Is that the one that I
okay.
wrote? Then
Yeah.
yes.
All right, I'll just pop that in the chat too. I am now just a copy paste machine for links. That's all I'm doing on this stream. Cool, cool. Any other issues or pull requests you wanted to talk about in the docs repo?
Um, I Give me 1 second. Lima has been working on an issue, so shout out to Lima. I know that she's putting in a lot of work into that, and she had to navigate some technical difficulties to make sure that she's able to do that. So that's in the process, and I appreciate her just always keeping open lines of communication.
Okay, cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Just doing a time check. Yeah, we got about 20 minutes left here. Did we want to cover any other shout outs? Well, just to reiterate, we can't go through everybody that has contributed just because like we probably miss people sometimes. But just in general, just want to say we always appreciate your contributions, whether it's pull requests, issues, commenting on things, feedback in general, just helping out with the community in general too. It's all appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. I think maybe we could move over to the intro course.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Weird. I put the GitHub URL correctly, but then it went to Google for some reason. But here we are. All right, we made it.
So if you want to look at the closed PRs there, Hymantika has a closed PR, and I think that she also opened the issue for that as well. Yeah, so she
Okay.
went through and took the intro course for OpenSauced, and that's again one of those things that we're offering as part of the GitHub Student Developer Pack. And
Okay.
we are going to be launching in maybe about 2 weeks our Intro to Maintainership course. I don't
Okay. Cool.
Maintainership is not the right word there, but I just have a hard time figuring out the right way. If you wanna be a maintainer and you're new to it, we have a course for you in a couple of weeks.
Cool.
But
Cool.
anyway, so she took the course, added herself to the guest book, and based on that experience created this issue that sometimes it's hard, especially for folks who are new to open source, to figure out. I find that pull request templates can be really confusing to look at if you've never really
Yeah.
used them before. I really wish that they
Hmm.
had pull request forms, and I don't understand why that's not a thing. So if somebody
Yeah.
knows, let me know.
Yeah. No.
um
Totally.
so she clarified that as part of the intro course, just to make it clearer, that you need to fill out the description in the PR template.
Yeah, totally. And it's a good reminder too. So like whenever a project has like an issue template or a pull request template, it's really not to annoy you, the contributor. It's really to avoid a lot of back and forth and just, you know, maybe you're unable to fill out the whole template, but fill it out to the best of your abilities. And, uh, it'll typically, because typically if you don't fill in some things, people will be like, oh, what about this? And then there'll be this back and forth. And, we try to avoid that stuff. It's really, these things exist to remove friction for people contributing to projects, really. So I think that's great that Jaime Tika wrote that up.
Yeah, that's really really useful to have that information included as well. And I always tell people that if you're trying to follow the directions in the README or the contributing guide and you get stuck, you're not the only one that is has stuck. So don't give up.
Yeah,
Instead, check the issues or write an issue for that, because that's going to help everybody who wants to contribute to that project after you.
yeah, totally, totally. And also, like in terms of help, there, it's always okay to ask for help. I think the thing most maintainers, I am generalizing, but I think in general, if you can like provide as much context as possible, then that's really great. That's all I think maintainers really ask for. And if there's something isn't clear, it's totally okay to ask for help, but dig in a little bit first is all.
And Tyler
Cool.
made a mention in the Twitter chat or the X chat about issue forms. I love issue
Okay.
forms. I think issue forms are
Yeah.
great. They make it really easy to use, but they don't have that available for pull requests yet. So
Yeah.
if you're a maintainer, add issue forms.
Yeah, I am really well, not surprised, but maybe there's a technical reason why they haven't done it yet. Because I don't know. I can't remember how long issue forms have been out. It's not like
Years.
okay, it's been that long. Okay, I thought it was only like a
Yeah.
couple years. Okay,
It's at
all right.
least 2 because I know that we added it 1 year in virtual coffee for our Hacktoberfest,
Okay,
um, initiative.
okay, cool, cool, gotcha. I'm still curious about Twitter. Okay, I can see the. Okay, I can see Twitter now here. Okay, but I don't see any. I don't see anything in the chat. I just see where I can type. I'll just say hi, Becca and Tyler. Let me know if you see that.
I see it.
All right, cool.
You know
I don't
what?
see
I
any
find,
other
like,
chat, but
on mobile, you can't see the chat except after someone says something, it will, like, send up a little,
okay,
it's not a no I guess a notification, like,
okay,
it's ephemeral, it doesn't stay. You can see
yeah,
it only yeah, I see it now. "Hi, Becca and Tyler." Screenshot
yeah.
it.
And I see Tyler saying yo after, so I guess I only start to see stuff as I join, I guess. So
Ugh. Anyway, figuring it
I'm
all out.
guessing. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, cool, cool, cool.
We had another new contributor to Docs as well, the community translations section. That was in number 131 of the pull requests. Yeah. Vivit,
Okay,
maybe.
okay.
Let's see.
Oh,
Vivian
Viv.
is her name from Barcelona.
Oh, okay,
Welcome. Committed to this repository. Open this pull request. They're first in OpenSauced. Yay.
nice.
Actually, can you show
Congrats.
that, Nick? Can you hover over her little
Yeah, hover card.
yeah. So it's nice that you can find out a little bit more about them. This is their first pull request in OpenSauce, which is nice to see. But actually, I think this issue had
Okay,
been open for quite some time. So we go back and forth about having translations at
okay.
to our intro course. And one of the challenges of having translation is one, you need to have somebody who's fluent in the language review the PR.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
two,
totally.
anytime there's an update that's made to the course, then you also have to worry about updating the that same update in the other languages.
Oh
So
yeah,
it,
yeah,
it
yeah.
makes it a challenge. Like, could we offer this in every language? It would be great too, but we just don't have the bandwidth to do that. And so the
Yeah.
alternative here is we have a translation section now. And if folks want to fork the repository and do their own translation, then they can add a link to our community translation section just to let people know, like, hey, this is maintained by the community. We appreciate it. But it's not something that we have the bandwidth to officially do and endorse.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah, yeah,
thanks for adding that in there.
yeah. No, that's awesome. Cool. And also, congrats again on your first pull request, Viviana. Cool. All right, let's head on over. Um, let's see here. This I will give a shout out to IU for this. She noticed there was a syntax error in the code owners. I this is like one of the first. I think it might have got changed, or maybe this is how I did it initially. I can't remember. I think this is how I set it up initially, and basically, okay, well, they removed the triage team. I think if you only have one, it's fine on the one line, and I guess we didn't need the triage team. So,
It wasn't
base.
working on any of our repositories. So,
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, so even after I wrote a whole blog post about it, I clearly goofed. so thanks for fixing that. I
yeah, and I was saying she's like, "Are you getting the notifications?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not getting them." But she did the work and figured out why we weren't getting them, whereas I just did
yeah,
not
yeah.
do the work. So, appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it's I have to actually check the engineering one. It does work in the engineering one, but I think it's the triage team that gets it, and I need to modify it so that the engineering gets it too. But anyways, you learn as you go, I guess. Okay, cool. We got about 13 minutes left here, Becca. Did you want to touch on? I have the link to the GitHub education in our. I think it's either their announcement or our docs. I can't remember which one it is. It's the one you shared with me before. Let
Yeah,
me
if you wanna
grab
go
it.
ahead and share that, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So this is an I don't know if you want to just speak to this a little bit real. We don't have to spend like a ton of time, but I'll go ahead and drop this on both, uh, pop it in YouTube, and I'll head on over to the Twitter sphere and mention it there as well.
Yeah, so we, um like I said, just partnered with GitHub Education. We didn't just do it. It's been in the
Yeah,
works
yeah,
for a while, but yesterday was the big announcement for that. So GitHub has some initiatives to support students, and there's quite a few people that are involved in this and that get the benefits from being part of the GitHub Student Developer Pack. And so you can see, let's see, I'm trying to look for our thing. There it is,
there we go.
OpenSauced. Tells you more about OpenSauced, and there's also a discussion that I forgot to drop to you, Nick. Let's see.
Okay,
I
feel free
will
to
grab that
drop it
too.
in Slack if you want.
Yeah. And it shows you all the resources that we have for folks, and we're going to be doing some more pairing up with them as well. So there will be a live stream and some more opportunities where we're going to be working with them. So very excited to be partnering with them on that, especially for our all of the things that we're doing. And this is why we have the student guide to OpenSauce. Now, of course, anyone can use this, but it's particularly
Yeah,
geared towards students. And what would you do with a workspace as a student? Like what would be useful for you? So it has some
yeah,
use cases for you, some ways that you might want to organize things, and how it can help you on both your journey in open source, but also like what are you going to do after you're a student? Are you looking for a job?
yeah,
What type of opportunities are you looking for? So hopefully that is useful. I don't know if I dropped that in. I did. Okay, so I dropped it. Oh, you
yeah,
already have it up. Yay.
yeah. I'm from
Thanks,
the
Nick.
future. I'm from the future.
So I'll also drop that in YouTube, and you already dropped it into Twitter. So cool.
I got too much stuff automated. Sorry, sorry.
So anyway, that's what we're doing with GitHub, and that's been super awesome. Um, if you have any questions about that, please let me know. Feel free to reach out about that. And then I think the last thing that we had to talk, we wanted to give a shout out for was to Mona Lisa Codes, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like huge shout out, and let me grab the link because, like I said, I've got it connected to my own in my Stream Deck. I've got it connected to my own Git YouTube at the moment, so I can't post it. So let me just copy it. So I'll post it on the screen first, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and if you just want to go ahead and speak to that, Becca, while I go ahead and paste it
Yeah,
into.
sure. So this is the dev card for Mona Lisa Codes. And from what you can see here, you have how many pull requests that she has created, as well as how many repos that she's been in, which is really huge. I think that somebody commented in our Slack that they've never seen anybody with 100 pull requests created, and I believe this is over a 30-day period. Um, Also, Mona Lisa Codes, we've been doing some Twitter spaces called Pitch Your Project. We did our second one yesterday.
Yeah,
And I think I am going to contact Mona Lisa Codes about coming on as well. So that'll be great. But
and
so 100 PRs, 13 repos. You can see that activity level is super high. And we just thought it was incredibly great. And we wanted to highlight all of the open source work that she has been doing. You can also, if you're on OpenSauce, you can follow her. So you can track all of the things that she's doing. Maybe use it for a little bit of inspiration for your own open
yeah.
source journey.
I'm just gonna tag her on the live stream. I was looking for a handle. It's not Mona Lisa Code. It's a different one. So, whoops. Let me just go post that in. Um, I think
Oh,
that's
also,
yeah. Sorry,
the
go.
only other thing I wanted to say is anybody who is on OpenSauce has their own dev card. So if you want to get your own dev card, you can just go to your profile and then you can click the little card that's next to your face.
Just right here. Cool. Uh, yeah. Okay. I'm not at 100. Sorry, I let you down, Becca.
Well, I'm sure that you're still way ahead of me, so, I think you're doing pretty good.
All right, so I'm just gonna say shout out to at Monacode Lisa on X/Twitter on 100 uh, PRs. Okay, and I'll just get that link again. And friendly reminder to myself to link the OpenSauced YouTube to my Stream Deck so that I don't have to be copy pasting this everywhere. Okay, there we go. Cool. There we go. Awesome. Okay. I don't like seeing my face on a screen too long, so I'm just gonna leave that. Okay, cool. I think so. We touched on that. Did we touched on the docs? Yeah. Shout out to Mona Lisa Code and the GitHub education. Anything else before we kind of wrap things up here, Becca?
I think that's pretty much it. We are doing our X or Twitter Spaces every Tuesday. So this
Oh yeah.
Tuesday coming up at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, we'll have Kent C. Dodds. We'll be talking about all things Epic, Epic Web, Epic Conference, the Epic Stack. So definitely tune in for that. That's going to be a great conversation. And we have spaces that are scheduled all the way through April, and I'm scheduling into May and June right now. So, very excited to be doing those weekly and chatting with maintainers.
Just here it is. Okay, cool. Boom. Did I already retweet this? No, I didn't. Okay. Here, and I'm just gonna drop. I'm
Doing it
gonna drop the
live.
link. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna drop this on the tubes of the uh, YouTube.
Oh,
Uh,
there's Mona Lisa Codes, Esther.
hey, hey, how's it going, Esther? Yeah, big shout out to you. Congrats again. And yeah, there's a link to the X/Twitter space next week with Kent. Definitely check that out. And yeah, oops, I closed that. Yeah, I guess we're almost at time there. I guess I'll switch us back to the fancy view of just you and me hanging here. Um, yeah, is uh I guess one thing to mention about these live streams is where is this our second or no, it's our second one on the open source YouTube account because we started doing these on my own Twitch account and honestly it didn't make sense because it's open source. Um, so we're still refining the whole process for this. So we've got a few more assets like you can see today. So you can give us a follow on YouTube, Instagram, and X if you haven't yet. And yeah, just thanks again for everybody for all the awesome contributions and always good hanging out with Bekah on the internet somewhere. So
And we'll be back again. We do these monthly, so you will see us at it's the usually the last week of the month. It's usually a Wednesday, I think, but just depending on availability. So definitely check that out. Join our Discord if you want more updates on the things that we're doing, and follow us on all of the socials.
cool, cool. Well, I guess with that, I'll get you to stay on for a sec there, Becca. But for everybody else, stay saucy, and we will see you next week. And I gotta find the button to switch my screen, my Stream Deck switch screens. Hold on a sec here. This won't happen next time. Anyways, take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week. Or not next week, next month.